can see my mouse. Great.
Okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our next industry guest talk. Our guest today is Photon Lee. Um,
Hello.
this
Hello.
this
Hello.
handsome man.
Oh,
Photon graduated 3 years ago, or
two,
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 three,
two years
two,
ago. Yeah, two,
somewhere
two.
around that. Yeah.
Uh, in 2018, yeah, in 2018, he was a very talented student of mine with like very interesting taste in cinematography and lighting and visual effects. So I think his talk would be very tangible and understandable and very useful for all of you because you will see your near future out there through works of Photon. He like I think his case is very interesting because most of my students think that okay, my future out there is either one of those few companies out there like either Beta or I don't know Toy Box or Grinding Gear Games or all these like names we know. But like Photon is working in Fisher and Paykel, like a manufacturing company that they are benefiting from his expertise, which is like creating media and visual effects. So all the so you will see that there are a lot of opportunities out there that you can go for. So I hope this talk would be an interesting one for you. And I will hand it soon to Photon to start
Sure.
his.
Sure.
And during the talk, I might ask questions, but anytime at any point, feel free to just type or your question or open your mic and ask it. At the end of the talk, we will have a few minutes of Q&A anyway. So, but you don't need to wait until there. Whenever you want, just open up your mic and ask questions.
Yeah, 100%. Like
Okay.
I definitely like more interactive presentation, like talk more than just me talking the whole time and just wait for the end. So I mean, if any of you guys have questions, just open your mic, just talk to me. Just like a normal talk. I make me more comfortable that way. Anyway, so
Awesome.
yeah, should
There you are.
I
Yes.
start?
Yes.
All right. Here's my talk. All right, industry work life after uni. I'm gonna, a little bit about me first. As Ozan already talked about, like I graduated in VFX and mocap in 2018, and now I'm working at Vision and Picos Technology full time as a 3D generalist. So yeah, I will talk about what I do later on, and yeah, and then um yeah, sorry, I kind of lost myself already. Fuck. Yeah, so that's all right, but I will get back to the track. A little bit about me, I do a lot of sport and music, and I like to play games and movie
Do you
stuff.
still do
Yeah.
you still make electronic music?
Uh, s- I don't
I
make them, but I like to mix them a little bit and stuff like that. Just
yeah, I remember you were into like kind of like electro house music, which was pretty cool.
I do like those. Yeah, I still play
Yeah,
around.
yeah, yeah.
I don't make mine, but I
And you
play
were
around.
fond of neon lights and like this retro futuristic kind of aesthetics. And I still,
Yes.
yeah, I
I still
still,
have. Yeah.
yeah, see a lot of them in your. Okay, sorry for interruption.
Oh no worries. Like, cause yeah, I was trying to talk about myself anyway, and yeah, I will show you guys a little bit of my work, like previous work, and so yeah, I mocap is what I did in uni and stuff. So it's my project back in uni and capstone on the bottom, and you can see like I have a lot of like futuristic stuff and reflections and shiny, metal wear things like that, and here's some more recent work that I've been working on by myself. It's like a side project, and yeah, you can see the difference with the clay render and the one with the textures and everything. And so yeah, like pretty much my theme and my style is more like into futuristic and modeling things like that. Yeah, so for now in Fission and Picos, so I work on a lot of like riggings and body animations, things like that, because my role is, I mean, yeah, first of all, like, I'm a 3D generalist, right? And there is an upcoming project that is soon gonna be released, maybe like end of this year or beginning of next year. It's pretty much like an exercise product. Yeah, Fisher and Payke's, I know, but they're trying to take like a new directions, like something different than normal, and they was looking for like someone can like a more experience, 3D and like animations, like body motions kind of stuff. So and yo, I'm the lucky one that they chose. So yeah, we pretty much creating an apps for the product, and we use a lot of Unity as well. Well, I didn't do any gaming pathway to begin with at uni, so I also have to like taught myself that like how to use Unity, things like that, and yeah, and then combined with all the 3D assets that I made inside Maya, and rigging the building a character AI, things like that, and also a lot of like hard model surface I mean hard surface modeling and renders for different other projects, not just for this upcoming project. Let's say like they have like applicants, like washing machine or like a flash and stuff. They have a new design in mind, but they want to see what it look like in real life and stuff. I can pretty
Oh,
much do it pretty quick inside, like Maya and stuff, like just modeling and texture it, or like substance painter, things like that. And so they can have an idea like what this product will looks like in the future when it is released, or like they have like three or five different ideas. They want to compare like which one gonna looks better with the components they have inside the machine. So I also can work on some more realistic calculations of the size of the machine, things like that, so they can have a idea of like how much space they can put like a motor or like a different the engineer element inside the product, things like that. So also it was involve a little bit of simulations. Let's say like for the example, the other day they were asking me if I can simulate some like a washing machine load, like what it looks like if I put some water or like some clothing. It doesn't need to be super accurate. They just want to see how the drum um, design works with the clothing, like interact with the clothing and stuff. Yeah. So this is an interesting one, but
that's going to be very fun.
yeah,
Just hold on for a second. Here, that was very interesting point here.
yeah,
So they ask you to create these like products
mm,
in 3D environments to see how they look before, like and different parts.
yeah.
So what they provide to you, like do you get like blueprints or just like kind of like designs and things?
Yeah, so what they do is they give me CAD model, the CAD
That
models,
much.
yeah,
Okay.
from the engineer side. And I mean, first of all, I mean, CAD is pretty much Autodesk as well, but they don't really have uh, I mean, their program is more focused on like mathematically correct
Yeah.
kind of
There's no rendering and like kind of lighting
yeah.
and stuff, and then yeah.
Yeah, so it's really accurate for like wiring or like the gears and the motor, everything's. But if they want to put everything's together and what it looks like in real life with like natural lightings or like a HDRI, the things we usually do like sky dome, things like that. What it's gonna look like inside like a household environment, they will have an idea through me. Yeah, sure. Yeah, so I will put it in like a home or like a kitchen or like a toilet, so they have an idea of what the product will look like in that environment. Like would it should it, would it looks good, or like would it be look really outdated design, things like that. So yeah, a lot of things they can see through yeah, rendering and simulations, things like that.
Interesting.
So yeah,
What
and
about
yeah.
simulation? Like you simulated like water and cloth, like a bunch of cloth together. Um, did you use any specific package for that, or you just use Houdini or Maya for it?
I pretty much just use Maya because I don't think. the project, they have that much budget to invest in a lot of program, like a full license program, because sooner or later we will use those video maybe for like marketing and commercial purpose. So we have to make sure the program that I'm using is actually commercially licensed, not like a personal use. So yeah, just buying Maya, the team was already holy damn, it's already like 2-3 thousand. Also like the whole commercial package, things like that. So yeah, right now I'm just mostly using Maya, After Effects,
Okay.
things like that. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
nothing too drastic or too high end movie like simulation. So yeah, but yeah, the other day I pretty much make the whole washing machine transparent, so you can see the components inside. So when the washing machine's moving, they have an idea like what the loads will be like, or like if it's gonna be offset, if it's too heavy at the back or too heavy in the front. They have the idea what it looks like when it's in actions. So things like that. And yeah, so that is pretty much what I do at Fission and Paykel's. And I mean, I'm pretty much the first 3D generalist they hire in the company. So there's definitely a lot of good things and also a lot of bad things as well. So I will cover this later on in the slide in the talk. And
Yeah.
yeah, so because there's gonna be quite a huge topic on that, like just good and bad. So we will move on to that later on. So yeah, the next slide. So this is pretty much the time slide of what I'm going to be talking about today. So first one's going to be what you're going to do right now with your uni life, things like that, and how you're going to make a convincing, good portfolio, show real, and then what is
Very
another.
important. Very important.
Yeah, I'm sure you have a way better experience than I do, but it's gonna be my little bit opinion on portfolio and stuff. And so yeah, the next one's gonna be your directions, like what you want to look for, or like what is your goal, things like that, and what it's like gonna be stepping into the industry. And then there will be some. I will talk about like some differences between big, small studio, or like companies, like what I'm working on, or more like a corporate environment, or if it's a studio environment. And then yeah, my experience, and then how to make a good work or deliver a good um, product, things like that.
Awesome.
Yeah, so pretty much that's the timeline. Hold on, I think I might be able to hear myself through
I
your.
do. I think.
Yeah.
So you know what? I I turn off my mic. So
No,
and I turn it off, and you just tell me if you still get an echo.
no more echo. But I mean, if you wanna talk to me, just yeah, feel free. Yeah.
Yeah. Whenever I have a question, I turn on my mic and ask it. So
Yeah, sweet, sounds good. All right. So yeah, let's move on to the next one. So what you should do now. So in my opinion, right, like I definitely feel like uni I definitely give you a lot of freedoms of building your own projects, stuff like that. Because like later on when you're in the industry, you don't really have the chance to create whatever you want to do. In industry environment, there's a lot of things that you have to follow specific orders, requests, and sometimes it's totally different of what you want to do or like what you want the result to be, and that is what your.
I really love the penguin icon. Yeah, in uni, you literally you can go really crazy.
Pretty much, like, they're gonna be like, "What? Like, how uni give me freedom?" But yeah, like trust me, like yeah, definitely, uni is quite a lot of freedoms now to tell. You have the freedom to do what you want, and the range is quite huge. You can literally use most of the software or like um pretty much just make your ideas to become real in uni, but in working environment that might not be the chance, that might not be the case. And usually what I have to do is like I have to follow requests or orders of my clients or what my boss want me to do, even though I don't like the colors or I don't like the fonts or I don't like how it gonna looks like. This is what they want, so I can't really give them what I want because that is a weird. I'm not really completing my task. So yeah, this is one thing about working environment and uni. So I would say like doing uni this time, definitely take the chance to create like just go crazy. with your work. And because like later on you're going to be using your works into your CV and portfolio anyway later on, so that is good for your future anyway. So yeah, definitely want to expand your software knowledge skill as well. Don't limit yourself into just one single program, or like if you're really comfortable with like Maya or like Blender or anything like that. Make sure you also know some other programs. Don't just limit yourself in one single one, because later on you will see a lot of studio or other companies will ask you to have um, a few software background or like experience, skill check, things like that. So the more you have, the safer you will get later on when you apply for jobs and stuff. Yeah, yeah, you just have a bigger knowledge than other components, other people. So you will have a bigger chance at the end of the day. And yeah, you make your own project in your free times. That is definitely what you should do as well. Just like what I did before with my modeling project. If you have free times and stuff like, oh shit, I just realized I'm just half screen my face. I'm just gonna pull myself up a little bit. I just realized.
Fine.
Yeah, I put my MacBook like down away, but I just realized my MacBook is the camera. So here we go. You guys can see me again. Um, yeah. So yeah, definitely. You know, uh, don't be lazy. Make your own project sometimes. And you can also put it on your CV and stuff later on, so you can expand your portfolio even bigger. And I also think that knowing how to control a DSLR camera is definitely a bonus, because you can pretty much like showcase a skill, like knowing that like showing them like you know how to uh, uh, um, do like filming or like recording things like that. And you can also show that you have a sense of like details, like picking like a good angles, or with good lighting, things like that. So I think that's a good bonus if you can also add that to your one of your skill. If you don't know how to use a camera, I think that's a good chance for you now to start learning how to control a
Yeah, good
camera.
thing about VFX pathway is that students there do a lot of cinematography as well.
Yeah.
But they do it for the sake of adding CGI elements onto the onto their scenes. But like we expect them to, as you remember, like to do it properly and very well. So it's kind of like we'll end up like them creating a lot of beautiful scenery and beautiful images
Mm.
out of like filmmaking using a DSLR or black magic cameras.
Oh, great, great. Yep. Well, there you go. Like that's great. So yeah, just in my own opinion, I think this course is definitely popping off at the moment. It's pretty good. It's like because like many field and areas is trying to adapt into the digital world, especially during COVID and this whole pandemic. Like movie and gaming just flied off during this time. So I think this course right now is pretty strong, pretty good. And yeah, it might not feel like it now, but yeah, I reckon like we hold we hold a great skill for the coming future. And as many things like are changing and becoming digital wise, yeah, there's we are definitely doing something ahead than some other field out there. So yeah, that's just my own opinion. But yeah, anyway, let's move on to the next slide. Yeah, so your CV and show reels, things like that. Yeah, you definitely want to work. Uh, uh, you want your work and project to be as future proof as possible. So again, same thing. Don't be lazy. Go as hard as you want. Just go crazy with your ideas, things like that. So it will be like even after like 2 or 3 years, it will still hold up. You want your profile or like showreel CV to hold up when times go by. So you don't want to make something like too simple, like too shitty, and then after like a half a year, like 1 year, and you look back, be like, this is not something I can do. I can do way better than that. So I would say like take this chance right now and just make it good, so it will be future proof. And again, yeah, go all out. Don't regret about it. Like few months or few years, and definitely put behind the scene work into your show reel. So like a studio like Weather and some other like Boxhead like Netflix studio, they definitely want to see how you make your work. I applied for Weather before as well, and they really asked me like a lot of like behind the scene work stuff like that. So yeah, you want to put that in your CV and stuff as well. Yeah, just keep building it and try to have your own style as well. I guess like this is not necessary, but I guess having your own style is pretty good. It can really showcase and tell other people that um like um like your idea or like your directions of arts. You know, everyone have their own specific style, so I think this is a good thing to showcase as well. Like what kind of theme you have. Yeah, so you can stand out a little bit more with your special style, I guess. Yeah, we covered about DSLR already. Just if you want to, especially if you want to go to on-set productions, I think that is a really strong skill set of knowing how to operate a decent camera. Yeah, so if you also like if you really like a job opening, just don't wait and just try to send in your application as fast as possible because the later it gets, the more competitors are going to be applying to the job. So if you really want to lock onto a, a job opening you like, do it ASAP, do it as quick as possible. So yeah, let's move to the next one, which is the your directions. So you know, we all have like a different pathway or goal that we have, and many entry like level VFX or like 3D jobs, they usually located overseas. So I think it's worth looking overseas as well. If you don't mind, relocating to the different area, different country, that's definitely worth giving a look. Because I mean, especially in US and Canada, they have a lot of like entry works, junior works, and compared to New Zealand, it's kind of limited in New Zealand, and maybe in Australia as well. Like you can find some good one, but definitely not as much as like Canada. You know, like if you want to go into Ubisoft, like it's gonna be in UK or like France, things like that. So it will be around the world. And in Hong Kong right now, we have like a new flagship Riot game, which make League of Legend and Riot and Valorant. You know, like so, it pretty much in a different country. You should have a look around if you really want to follow your dream stuff. So don't let it hold it back. And yeah, but again, it really depends on your personal choice here, I would say. Because I mean, for me, it's definitely between chasing my dreams or having a stable and good benefit full-time job. Because it took me a while to actually make up my mind and decide what I want to do as well. I mean, in Korea, I actually want to be a 3D artist, but I have the choice of going to weather, but I have to leave Auckland and go to a different area of New Zealand, and I have to leave a lot of things behind, and I might run the risk of having a contract. I want to be a little bit more stable and uh, better with my money, so that's why I picked a full-time job over a contract jobs, because I
What sorry for interrupting you here. What was
yeah,
the
no worries.
position you got into at Weta? Was it like, if I remember, mocap?
Yeah, I tried to get into the Motia and mocap, the one with like
Mm,
cherries, the motion
yeah,
tracking, editing, things like
yeah.
that. But
I think
yeah,
your current position is much more exciting.
yeah, it's a lot of things to learn and experience by myself, things like that, which I also will be covering later on with the good point and the bad point about that. So we will touch base on that one. But yeah, so yeah, I'm just gonna go back to the slide. So yeah, for me, I mean the company I'm working at might not be the first dream company that I want to work at because it's a manufacturer company. Matter of fact, like I wanted to work at like Ubisoft to begin with. Some of you might disagree. Ubisoft is not a good company. Blah blah blah. I know, but yeah, I'm decided to stay at my current job because of the benefit and it's pretty well paid. And it's also allowed me to work from home. They have the system that I can literally work from home 5 days a week because everything I do is digital. I don't have to go into the workshop, which is good. Like I have the freedom of working from home every day. So yeah, it's a really good perk, and not a lot of company has this perk. Like my girlfriend Cherry, like she's working at Weather, she cannot work from home. She has no choice from working from home because everything is so secret and stuff. They have to go into the office every day and work there. So I would say that I have a benefit here that I can just have my freedom and be chilling in my room and just working there. So yeah, so also like I'm not sure if it's obvious enough for you guys, but I'm not a local citizen here, and my family is from Hong Kong. So I was thinking like once the border is opened, this whole pandemic is finally finished, I can actually go back to visit my family while I can also work from home and keeping my job and not losing the job. So this is a good part. That's why I decided to, just keep working in these positions right now, even though this is not my dream company that I want to work in. So yeah, that is my choice. And yeah, I'm lucky enough to have a full salary instead of contract because there's actually quite a big difference between full time and contract. And yeah, um, having to be the international artist, I would say, is also a little bit making everything some more complicated and difficult as well. So here's another tip for like if any international student here in the talk, if you're looking to get yourself a PR or like a resident visa, the immigration in New Zealand tends to accept the job that is based on full-time salary, and they don't really you know prefer the one that is you doing contract jobs. So if you're an artist doing contract job and then there's an artist doing a full-time job, they will take the full-time guy faster. They will like them more. Easier for them to get a PR, a resident visa, if you want to get visa in here, stuff like that. So that's one tips for any international student here, if there's any. So yeah, um, next one's gonna be stepping into the industry. So first things, don't be upset if you can't get into the exact studio or company you want. We're still young. You have a lot of opportunity in the future, things like that. So you can always change your job if you don't like it after like a year or two. Yeah, even though if the studio didn't pick you, and if you have the interview with them, your portfolio and application will still be saved in their pool usually, and like in the future, if they're really looking for scalping for people, they might have a chance to ask you to be like, oh, you want to do another interview? We might want you to come help us or like come into this department and start working on a new project we have, things like that. You might still have a chance. So yeah, don't get upset about that if you didn't get a chance at the first place. So yeah, also like if you see another opening again, yeah, just don't get defeated and just apply it again. Always, keep applying. You want to be a, job apply fuck boy here. You want to get it going. So yeah, don't feel ashamed about it. Um, so yeah, again, I think there's a lot of opportunity nowadays related to our
Actually,
course. Yeah.
yeah, it's a very good point. I got my first, so the first position in New Zealand I got as senior animator at Yakfu. I applied for the position. Well, I talked to them and applied for the position, but like the producer said, like we don't have any position open, but you seem to have nice portfolio. We keep you in mind. 6 months later, they offered me a position. So what Photon says here that like, yep, don't feel upset. So because if you're a good applicant, they keep you in the pool for the future. So better to apply as much as you can.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, so yeah, just don't be upset about it. And next one's gonna be again, I think digital design is getting more popular nowadays, so more opportunity, blah blah blah. Yeah, so next one is you might not get the job or the role that you are expecting you were doing, because some of my the things that I was thinking of, oh, I might be able to like use Houdini or like use like Unreal Engine, things like that. No, that didn't really happen. So yeah, it might be different from what you expected. Is Hosen still here? Did Hosen just gone? Oh, doesn't matter. But yeah, so me as a 3D journalist at Fisher and Paykus, I have many different tasks and projects that require my skill set inside the company. And I mean, some people, my friends, first heard that like, oh, why are you working at Fisher and Paykus? Like they were like, what are you doing there? There's a manufacturing company. You're a 3D artist. But little do they know, like digital design is getting really diverse and merge into a lot of areas now. and different industry. So yeah, I wouldn't be too worried about having too little opportunity with what we are doing. Um, you might even notice digital design is getting pretty popular over the past few years, other than movie, gaming industry, or like, and yeah, other like VR, AR stuff. You get into oh, hello, yeah, 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 the field, our course pretty much like merge into a lot of other industry, like educational material, engineer, and architecture using like AR, and yeah, quite a lot of other technology company as well. So yeah, I so I think there will be um quite a lot of opportunity out there now within these few years. So yeah, um, what's the next one here? Yeah, so yeah, same thing. I'm just reading my script here as well. So yeah, you might land yourself into like some other different field. So yeah, you don't have to limit yourself into like movie and gamings. All right. Next one here. The difference between big and small companies and or like studio. So let's say like if it's gonna be a creative work or if it's gonna be a really technical, that's definitely depends on your role and you know the workload could be different as well between big and small companies. I have a pretty heavy workload since I'm the only designer in the whole building and the project. So pretty much a lot of 3D stuff and anything's related to digital design will send it to my way. That's why my workload is quite heavy. And if you work in like a full-on design company, like a big weather, movie company, you will still get a lot of workload, but the things that you do is more specific and doesn't uh, um, like I mean compared to my job, like I have to touch base in a lot of different areas rather than just one single skill that I do. Um, yeah, so back to like small studio, you may experience more workload since you're the only one there, and but you have the chance to touch on more stuff. And big studio, like weather and stuff, yeah, um, most of you guys know like you want to get into weather and stuff like that. So big name is a glory job, but however, like it can get pretty repetitive sometimes with the things you do. So that is you know good and bad, big and small company. Um, Next one gonna be my work experience. You can see, bad and good experience. They fight each other all the time. Always be like, oh man, this is such a bad experience. But then you think about the good things, like, well, yeah, there's a lot of good benefits of stuff in there as well. So let's talk about the bad thing first. All right. So the bad things. There's a lot of people. I mean, there's a lot of you know weird things and things happening in a manufacturer non-design company. So yeah, a lot of people that I have interact with, um, like during meetings, I can guarantee you there are many people that will not understand our pipeline. They will not understand what our workload is like or like the flow is like. You will never get like a perfect team with perfect people in there. There's always one trouble guy, one trouble kid in a room, just start questioning you or like challenge you like why you do it this way like, but then they have like no idea what they're doing. So like sometimes I would try to explain the process and reasoning with them like, look, this is the way, this is the pipeline, and this could be the fastest way to do it, and you know and I will explain like why this is not working. The things you want me to do is, well, you know, it will work, but it will take a way longer time, and they won't get it. They just be like, well, they would just stop me there. Was like, well, I don't. You keep explaining things that I don't understand. Like, just do it if you can just just work on it. But then, like it's just really hard to interact with, really hard to communicate and work with like those people. I mean, just trouble people. Well, and also like they most likely will underestimate the time it would take for me to create or like deliver my work again because they don't understand it. So let's say like rendering, they will literally ask me like, oh, can you like render like a whole full-on animations or like simulations with lighting and camera and everything's within like an hour, like, and you give it to me in an hour. We need it for the presentation, things like that. I was like,
Just press the button, man.
yeah, yeah. They were like, there's just a few button you press, right? And then I was like, bro, like like 1 hour. You have 1 hour. Like we have a presentation in an hour. Can you just give me the video? I was like, Oh my god! And then I try to explain, they won't listen. So I don't understand, man. Like it's too complicated. Just can you skip it? Yeah, things like that. And yeah, some other department will also misunderstand my role. They will get confused and compare it to like 2D logos or like graphic designers. Oh, you do poster, right? You do like logos, right? Well, yeah, I can do those things as well, but this is not my specialties. This is not what I get hired for. But some people doesn't even understand what digital or like 3D design is in like a corporate manufacturer company that is a non-design company. They will get confused with like 2D animations or like 3D animations, things like that. Like they will be like, oh, it's so complicated, too hard for them. But yeah, we do get a lot of people in the company. Not everyone promised to like you in the first place. So sometimes we might get people to like literally doubt your uh, abilities and experience just because we looks pretty young. We were quite young, and usually that happens with the boomers, that the really older people like 50 years old or like even like 60. They will just they doubt your skill set and stuff like that. But then they had never really touched a design or like they have no knowledge about design or anything, but they will start questioning you, like challenging you, like, are you doing it right or not? It's like, bro, like I have no degree in this. You don't even know what Photoshop is, so just leave it to me. But I mean, again, like it's not necessary to like create dramas or anything inside the work environment. You want to keep it as calm as possible. So if it's nothing too drastic or like affect your work or your progress, you don't have to be the small energy back to them. Let them be the small energy. So yeah, that's just one thing. And if you're working in a company, it's not a pop culture related company, like just what I said, not a design company. Is the chance is like during like conversation or like lunchtime, there's not a lot of conversation. I create. They will really understand. Like, let's say like, I want to talk about movie, they don't really interested in it. They don't really like care. If I talk about gaming, they don't even know what gaming is. Like they're like, oh no, I don't game. I don't even know what game it is. Like, bruh, nah, not my generation. So it's a little bit hard to create conversation sometimes during lunch since all our things usually based on like pop culture things like that, but not for them. They are like just really mathematic, engineer, or it's like, oh, golf, barbecue over the weekend, let's do sailing. It's more like the dad in here. So yeah, that's about the bad thing in here, the company, like working in a non-design company. So the good thing, there's quite a lot of good thing as well. So as I mentioned before, being the only designer in a small studio or like the manufacturer company, you definitely have the chance and freedom to explore a lot of experience in more areas by yourself rather than working on the same exact task, clicking the same button every day. You have you have way more opportunity to touch base in different area. Like I already told you guys, like how like motion graphic or like logos or like making banners or like making video, editing video, filming. You have a lot of things you can do because you're the only designer there. They will give you a lot of tasks that is related to digital design. And I should get a chance to create my own pipeline since there's not a lot of people in the team who actually know what digital design works and how our flow is like. So I pretty much have the freedom to tell them like I want this program or I need this program to in order to deliver my work or like to do what you guys want, things like that. So I can build like a really efficient and effective way to deliver my task. It might be tough to start off with since you might feel lonely and you have no one to ask for help because I mean you're the only one that is here to try to troubleshoot all the errors and everything like that. But then like during this troubleshooting process, I mean it is part of the journey and you will learn a lot. You learn a lot of like how to like solve problems and troubleshooting errors, stuff like that. At the end of the day, it's like all these things or your own knowledge, it will add up to your experience, things like that. So it's pretty rewarding and when you can like solve all the challenges part, and the end is pretty worth it, I would say. And another good thing is about like you will meet a lot of new people apart from just designer, especially in like a corporate manufacturing company. Like I got the chance to talk with many like marketing analyzer or like engineer because I have to interact with them with like CAD model and stuff like that, and like project manager as well, and even like CTO and like CEO. I have a really close contact with CEO because I mean, I am pretty much a department by myself, and a lot of things he want me to do, or like I have to deliver to him. Like I talk to him a lot. I have like one-on-one meeting with like CEO, things like that, just to deliver the product that they want and stuff like that. So yeah, it's pretty much the whole family trees in the company. I can interact with them. It's a really good way to build connections. Uh, Apart from just designer, you literally branch out a lot. And yeah, I know it might sound like boring or like corporate like sometimes. I understand that we're all creative people here, but yeah, even though I'm not a really a statistic or like analyzer myself, I can't do math, you know. but um, but then like it doesn't really matter. We don't necessarily need to care about the all the statistic, the mathematic, or the numbers and stuff. As long as we know exactly what we're doing and we're confident with our role and the value of ourselves, and then we have connections with other people, I think that's great. I think that's a good perk. Like you get to know a lot of new people, or like higher up, or like you understand what their role is, you understand what they are doing, you just gain knowledge, you just gain more knowledge like by the time. Yeah. So yeah, overall I guess it's very depends on the person. If you need to find a balance in life and see what your priority is for now, I'm happy with my salary job, and I'm happy to staying here at a manufacturing company as a 3D designer. Yeah, I know. I mean, I also have my family to visit, so again, it's good to work from home. So yeah, don't get me wrong. Like don't if you want to chase a dream, go hard. It's a perfect opportunity, so go hard. But yeah, this totally depends on different person feel about in a different company, things like that. So yeah, um, the next one, how to make good work. Like since I think I'm working here 1.5, almost 2 years now in Vision and Picos. So I can definitely say like in a corporate big company, um, it might be a pretty hard pill to swallow, but can't stress this enough. And I'm sure same with Hossein too. Like never leave your work to the last minute. Very important. Like doing like school and uni, just sometimes you might get away with it. You might get away with like doing it at the last minute. You might find lucky. The deadline might extend sometimes, and your assignment. So oh yo, another 3 weeks. But then like usually like in a uni project, they are usually either a solo project or a group of just I don't know, like 4 or 5 people maximum for the project. So if you fucked up your part, if you messed up your part, you affecting only 4 or 5 people during a uni project. But it's really different with a working environment. Like think about if you are in a big project and the whole pipeline is like 20, 30 people. And then if you're late to deliver your work and you leave your things in the last minute and you mess up your work, you are affecting the whole pipeline behind you. Like you affect way more than 4 or 5 people. You are making the whole 30 people, 50 people waiting for your stuff, or like to be like pushing the whole deadline behind. And you know, it's it's just not good. Like you shouldn't do that. Like just don't leave your thing at the last minute. So always prepare and manage your time well inside a working environment. So yeah, just don't be that guy. I mean, imagine if you're working in like a movie industry, like a movie productions company, like you will be affecting like the VFX unit, the animator, the compositor, the editor. There's a lot of team out there. So yeah. I mean, for me, it's gonna be like IT, coding, team, stuff like that. So yeah, you don't want that. So yeah, in the meantime, make sure you deliver your work with quality and standard. You don't want to go through quality check, and then your boss or your clients or anyone on your next step gonna bounce back the work to you, and then you have to redo it, and you're gonna even waste more time, and you have to fix stuff. But I would rather just do my things one go. I don't like to be like rush everything's out and then just try to be like, oh, can I sneak this through? Can I pass away with this? And then they're gonna be like, nah, this is too bad. And then you come back and you have to like waste your time and do it again. So not good. So yeah, another small tips is if someone assign you a task, always double check with them with the deadline, and let them know your priorities, because like you might have a few important tasks active at the same times, like few really short on times task going on. So you need to let them know that your workload, or like what is doable and what is not doable. Give them a realistic talk, or like a wake up call, be like, yo, rendering doesn't happen in 1 hour. Or like if you want like a whole animation done in like half a day, it was like, dude, like if you want a good animations, that's not gonna be half a day. But if you want something quick and simple, this might not be the quality that you want. Are you okay with that? Like, you got to make sure with the quality and the timing you have, and prioritize your stuff. Time management and priority management is very important in working environment. And because also, like, communication is the key. So no matter if you're working in a small studio or big studio or companies, always talk and ask more. So if you're not sure about something, just go and ask. It's always better to ask more than don't ask. You're gonna get yourself out there, get outside your comfortable zone and communicate with people, because there's always some mistake happen. It's because of lack of communications and planning, stuff like that. So yeah, that's pretty much how you make good work, and yeah, plan your calendar and your schedule ahead, so you won't have, like, you won't make yourself crazy. Um, yeah. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it for the talk. And yeah, I know this might be a lot to take in all at
Awesome.
once. Yeah.
we,
I,
we virtual clap for you, just like if you click on that, like clapping for Photon, that would be lovely. So that
yeah,
was fantastic talk. I
thank you, thank you. I hope I get my point straight, because I'm not a really good
yeah,
speaker
yeah.
myself.
Actually, it was very
Yeah.
very straight to point and also very descriptive, explaining all the details. And I very much liked the last part that you mentioned, because it was quite evident that you learned them through hard work, and like, that, because those points are, we know it, but like it's really hard to convey to the students, because like it's you have to leave the experience to gain them.
Yeah, definitely.
Great. So any questions? Feel free to open your mic and ask question, or send your question as a text.
Anyone? Yep, anyone?
I have a question.
Oh, yes.
Super. Yes.
How did you find the job? Because it's quite interesting how. Because I was like, isn't Fisher and Paykel a fridge company? Like, I was just curious how you managed to like find
Right.
a job or a role there.
Yeah.
Very good question.
Yeah, so it's actually from connections. I think connection is really important as well, because they were supposed to post this job opening online, but then one of my friends actually working inside the project at that time, and they were like, "Yo, we have a role that might suit you very well." They were looking for like a 3D artist to do like all the motions and animations, things like that, for the upcoming project. If you're interested, if you wanna have a talk with the CEO, like, I can give you your name to the project manager, and then you can have a chat or something like that. So I was like, I mean, why not? Like, I will have a talk. Like, I didn't really expect that I will get the role or anything like that. I just want to have a talk and see what's going on anyway. So I went in and have an interview, and then literally like 2 days later, and they were like, "Yo, you look like a pretty good fit to the project. Like, we're gonna hire you." I was like, "Oh, okay, all right." And they didn't even have the job application or like the opening put it online, and then they already hired me, and then they just called it a day. So that is from connections, and also, yeah, I think connection is really important as well. Yeah. So yeah, that's it.
Awesome. Any other questions? Cherry, your partner, actually, Yongbin has asked a question here. Do you have to show your showreel when you get that job?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When
I
did you get that job?
been working for 1 year and 1.5 year now. So it was like during COVID, when COVID first started. Yeah.
Oh, okay. First, so last, yeah, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, it was really beginning of last year, something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, almost 2 years. Yeah.
Mm.
Where can I see the comment?
Pardon?
Where can I see the comment?
You have to click on that top. There's like a little like text icon on top. If you click on it, you will see the comments on the side. You don't say it's
Not sure if
okay.
I have.
I read them for you.
Okay.
So I was saying I was asking your partner Cherry, who
Yep.
was our industry guest last year. She works at Veta, right?
Yep.
As a motion capture
Editor.
artist.
Yeah.
So how do you? So I'm sure you guys talk about like different
Yeah.
jobs and positions.
Yeah.
So how do you compare yourself? How do you talk about together about these like differences?
You mean like our job difference? Is it what you?
Yes, your job differences and like
Obviously, I do find her job pretty attractive, or like I really want to do like something like movie or like big industry movie as well. But I mean, first of all, like I think I have time later in life to do that as well,
mm,
and
mm,
she also have bad. I mean, not I wouldn't say like bad thing. I don't want to speak for her here, but like she did say that like my salary job is way more stable than a contract
mm,
work, because what she's doing is contract work, and what they're getting is only like half a year contract and stuff like that, and they might have to run the risk of the company not wanting them anytime sometimes.
mm,
Like they're not sure if like they will be a long-term artist in there. If you produce good work within that contract times, then you have a good chance staying. But then if you're not a really reliable person, they have the chance to like just fuck you out anytime they want. And also they in a contract work, whether only do contract, and you pretty much don't have pay leave, you don't have annual leave, anything like that. So public holidays, they don't have any public holidays, and that if you want to take holidays, you don't get paid for that. And in my company, I literally have like annual leave for like a whole month. I can just take my whole Christmas month off, and I would still get paid, and which is a good thing. And they don't have that benefit. If you don't work for that day, you don't get money. And so yeah, so money managing is quite important for a contract artist, I would say. Yeah, as a salary full time myself, it's more stable that way, and yeah, it's good pay as well. And in weather, I think they're doing 50 hours a week as a standard, and sometimes
yeah,
even 60 hours sometimes. So it's a lot of
yeah,
work. Yeah,
that's a lot of work.
yeah.
Okay. Ahu here asks, what was the most surprising question you were asked during interview? Like, what was
During
the
interview,
interview?
um, everything I got during the interview is quite straightforward, honestly. Um, I think I would say the most tricky questions, not the most interesting questions. So the most tricky one is like they ask you like, what do you think you can benefit the company? I think
Yeah,
I,
yeah.
I think that sentence or that question is the most. Um,
What did you answer?
I kind of forgot, but I think I did a pretty good job. So
Yeah,
yeah,
well,
because
that's why you're there.
I prepared like a whole thing and I memorized it, like the whole script and stuff. So that question I prepared it, but I still feel like that one is the most tricky question. Like they always just suddenly ask you like, so what do you think you will bring to the company? What do you think you will benefit the team? And you will be like, oh, like you would be like freeze there. So yeah, definitely prepare the questions. They might ask you anytime. So yeah, yeah,
Good. Actually, this morning we had like a mock interview. We three of our third year students volunteered for an interview, and one of the questions I asked each one of them was pretty much what you said, like, what do you bring for us for this company?
yeah, yeah. I think that's a big one. So yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Any other questions before we wrapping it up? One last question. Okay, great. Thank you so much, Photon. It's
Thank
been
you
a
for inviting
great.
me.
Yeah, it was a very great talk. I quite can see that how much effort you've put to think about all these topics and to like, and I see that you just kind of package it in a way that works best for our graduating students. We really appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much, and good luck with the rest of your career.
Thank you very much. All right.
Okay, see
You
you soon.
guys have a good night and well, the weekend's coming up soon, so good weekend.
Yeah, stay safe.
All right, you too. Everyone stay
Stay
safe as
safe,
well.
everyone.
All right,
Bye.
all right. See ya. Bye
Thank you.
bye.